Episode of STEM City, and it's giving us a behind-the-scenes look at Tapia STEM Camps at Rice University. Joining us to talk more about it is STEM City host Dr. Owais Durrani. Good morning. Thank you as always.
Happy to be here. As we all know, Dr. Tapia is a legendary mathematician, and he's dedicated his career to getting people into STEM that may have been underrepresented traditionally.
Oh, wow.
So these STEM camps happen every year, every summer at Rice University, and we partner with DiscoverU, which is an amazing organization that kind of helps kids who may not be in these rooms getting there. So, you know, how do you apply? Maybe you need help with a fee for the application.
That process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe you get in and you live across Houston and it's difficult to get to Rice University. They help with transportation. And so we got to see these kids with massive smiles on their faces, and I got to compete with them in a carbon capture experiment as well. So we'll see who came out on top there, but let's check it out. This month on STEM City, we're at the Tapia STEM Camp, and we're hanging out with DiscoverU, getting our hands dirty with a carbon capture project, learning from some kids, and finding out how the leaders of this program are inspiring kids to go into STEM careers and making sure that everyone has an equal opportunity at pursuing their dreams. Well, Dr. Han, thanks so much for joining us. Our show's called STEM City, so when we heard that there's a STEM camp, we had to come check it out. Tell me about what this is.
Yeah, the Tapia Camps here at Rice University are a series of residential programs where students are here for 6 days and 5 nights, and they complete 2 STEM projects, each culminating in a presentation at the end of the week. They also get to learn from college students and graduate students, university professors, and industry professionals in order to experience what life is like on a college campus. That way they could decide whether college is right for them.
That is so cool. So they basically like move here for a week, and you know, they basically are freshmen in college for a week, and do they dine on campus? And I guess they go to the dorms, they come to classes, and so it's like the whole experience essentially.
Yeah, they live in the dorms, they go to the same classrooms, they meet many of the same faculty and graduate students. They really get a taste of what life is like on a college campus.
And who can participate? Like what grades do you need to be in? And
to attend Tapia Camps, you need to be a rising 8th grader through 12th grader.
Okay.
And a lot of our students come from Houston, but some come from all over the world.
Now, is it okay if you are like, I think I like science or technology, but I'm not sure if I want to like dedicate my life to it? Is it okay if you just want to come and taste what it's like to be around STEM and whatnot?
Absolutely. Our STEM camps have a significant focus on communication, and past campers who decided that maybe STEM wasn't right for them told us that the communication skills they learned at camp, the teamwork skills, the perseverance skills, those all help them in future careers that they have.
Obviously, I'm in a STEM career. That's what people used to tell me, and I used to roll my eyes. And now that I, am working, I realize that's so important. Communicating with patients, your bosses, colleagues, communication's everything. So at a minimum, maybe you don't go into a STEM career, but communication is very important. What does a typical day look like? At 7 a.m., the alarm goes off. What does a typical day look like?
Yeah, our campers will go eat breakfast in the servery. Then they'll come to class and then have one of their projects in the morning. Okay. So they might have a presentation by an industry professional and then meet their college or graduate student who is their instructor for the morning. Then they'll do our challenges and STEM activities that are related to that project. They'll eat lunch, then they'll do the second project in the afternoon. Then after that, we'll have dinner and evening activities. These are things like what we call the STEM Olympics or talent shows, scavenger hunt, that sort of thing, so that they can build the social connections with each other, which then improves the quality of their work product at the end of the week.
Really cool. And are they, like, say you're in 8th grade, are you paired with other 8th and 9th graders, and the 12th graders are separate, or is it all mixed? How does that look?
Our classes put similar grades together, but our evening programming groups do mixed grades. Okay. We believe that mentorship is a significant part of your feeling of belonging in the STEM fields, and so having 8th graders have the chance to talk to 12th graders is really exciting. But in classrooms, we do think that it's important that people be with other students of similar grades so that they can focus on the projects in the same way.
Really cool. And in all careers, and STEM careers included, diversity is so important. Everyone has a different perspective, and that contributes to success for everyone. Kind of looking through y'all's materials, equity is a big part of what you all kind of include. Tell me a little more about that and how you all work to kind of achieve that in your programs.
Yeah, so we are the Tapia Center for Excellence and Equity in Education, and we believe in equity both in terms of who attends the Tapia Camps, but also in terms of what they do once they're here. Right, so we're privileged to be in the state of Texas, where there's a wide range of students of all sorts of backgrounds, especially here in Houston. But also some of our programming involve projects that engage the idea of equity directly. For example, one of the projects the campers are doing this year is about college admissions, and they need to create a fictional college or university and then build an algorithm for admissions for that university that they think is equitable and in line with their values. So that's quite a challenge, because computers will do literally what you tell them, so you need to be careful that you tell them to do exactly what you want them to do.
Yeah. That is really cool. We're about to go hang out with some of the kids and then work on this project, a carbon storage project. Tell me a little more about that and why you all picked that project in particular for the kids to work on.
Here at Tapia Camps, we want our curriculum to reflect things that really matter to our students, their lives today and their lives tomorrow. Carbon capture and storage is a really important scientific topic because it's about the future of energy for all of humankind. Texas is a specifically important region for carbon capture because there are future carbon capture projects that will be in the area. So we think it's important that the students be able to know what's going on in this area so that they can be informed citizenry and possibly decide whether to engage in studying carbon capture or geology or physics or chemistry, and possibly even have careers in that field.
Yeah, and it's so impressive that at that young age they're already thinking about these topics, and they're already looking at solutions. I know when I was that age I probably wasn't doing that, so really impressive. I'm always, we've talked about STEM and increasing the reach of STEM, equity, diversity for a long time now, decades. And we've made a lot of progress, but there's a lot of progress to be made. In kind of working in your role, where do we go moving forward? What are some things that we need to be paying attention to that may be left out of the conversation, that maybe we're not talking about enough, to make sure that everyone has access to STEM and that they know that these careers exist if they want to go into them?
Right. Here at the Tapia Center, we're led by Dr. Richard Tapia, and he gives motivational talks to our campers. And one of his big messages is like, si se puede, like, yes, you can. You can be part of STEM, like you do belong in STEM. So what we believe is that we want to engage campers in exciting ideas in STEM that are directly related to their lives. And if we do that sooner rather than later, they'll have more time to take more classes in high school, potentially go to college, maybe even major in STEM, and then become the future STEM workforce and leaders of the next generation.
Absolutely. And speaking of Dr. Richard Tapia, he's obviously an icon. He's achieved so much. For those that may not be familiar with him, share some examples of how you've been maybe inspired by him.
Dr. Tapia is a world-renowned researcher, and what's really special about him is that in addition to doing world-class mathematics research, he is a role model and an inspiration on the mentorship front. Like, he's been the faculty advisor for many PhD students from underrepresented groups and has been a pioneer in this area. So much so that he won the National Medal of Science in 2011. So having him be part of camps has been a major benefit to the center because he can directly speak to the campers, tell them about his background as a one-time community college student who then was challenged to go on to a four-year institution, and the rest is history with all that he's accomplished.
Yeah, his story is amazing and could be an inspiration to anyone, even if you're not going into a STEM career. Speaking of you, I kind of want to learn a little bit more about yourself. I was kind of looking at some of your research online, and it looks very complicated and difficult, but yeah, share some of your educational background and what kind of you do when it comes to research, and I'd love to learn more about that.
So I am a university professor, and I am in the departments of mathematics and computer science, and I do research related to mathematical foundations of artificial intelligence. I've been fortunate enough to be able to do research in a variety of fields, including sort of biophysics and applications of mathematics to scientific imaging. And broadly speaking, I care about proving mathematically that certain algorithms work for solving important scientific problems.
As you kind of mentioned, the carbon capture project answers a question to a real-life problem that we're having today. So exactly what are they doing? Are they like actually capturing carbon, or are they creating a model for that? Or yeah, tell me more about that.
What you'll do here in a couple of minutes is, with the campers, you'll build a model underground geological reservoir in which you'll try to store carbon in liquid form. Now, in reality, we would take carbon dioxide that would otherwise be released to the atmosphere, capture it, and put it in a pipeline to put it underground. In this project, you'll take vegetable oil, which represents that CO2, and you will try to bury it under a layer of Play-Doh and pasta and beans. Those pasta and beans represent porous sedimentary rock that's underground, and that Play-Doh represents non-porous clay or other cap rock that's underground, and that's what traps the CO2 there. So what you'll have to do in the challenge is decide what are you going to make your reservoir out of so that you can store as much carbon as possible.
So Juliana, you're going into 12th grade. You're here at the Tapia STEM Camp this week. How's your experience been so far?
It's been great. I have learned so much. I've also had the chance to work with other students.
Have you met some new friends?
Yes,
Yeah.
So actually I've met people from around Houston, and I have learned a lot about them. Usually I don't do much teamwork, but with this camp I have been able to collaborate with new students from around Houston, and it has allowed me to grow and be able to be more comfortable with speaking with people from around the world.
And then how's the experience of almost being like a college student, right? Like you're at Rice, you're living here, you're eating here, you're going to classes here. How's that whole experience been like?
It has been amazing. Honestly, it's giving me a feel of how college might be for me.
Yeah.
And it's just giving me a great opportunity.
Okay, so Emily, you are going into your senior year, right?
Yes. That's
Okay, and you are at STEM Camp this week. How has it been?
It's been great. I've had an amazing opportunity to learn from amazing professors and from my peers.
Yeah, how did this come on your radar? How did you learn about it, and what prompted you to want to apply to it?
So I actually got an email from my school telling me about this opportunity and telling me about DiscoverU and how they could help me apply to Rice Tapia.
Nice. So you applied, so DiscoverU kind of helped you apply to the program?
Yes, DiscoverU
Yeah.
was with me through every step, telling me when the deadlines were and what to submit and when to submit everything. Yeah.
And so you guys are working on this carbon capture project. Tell me more about that. I'm going to be doing it too, so I need some tips from you.
Yeah, so basically we're modeling carbon capture and storage.
Okay.
And what we're doing is we're simulating how liquefied carbon dioxide is injected into the ground, which will be the rocks or pasta or beans, you can simulate with that. And we're trying to get displacement so we're gonna inject oil into the cup and then try to get water out through the other side.
That's really cool. And from what I understand, it's got real world applications, right? People are trying to do this in the real world as well.
Yes, Exxon has been working on how to capture carbon dioxide, turn it into liquid, and put it through pipes in the ground, and then store carbon dioxide underground.
That's awesome that you guys get to do a mini version of that. What's been your favorite part of the whole week?
I think my favorite part has been the talk that Dr. Tapia gave us. He talked about his journey as an immigrant in STEM, and it's been really inspiring to me and empowering to see someone else achieve such great things as a first-generation student in STEM.
Really cool. He's like an icon, so the fact that you guys got to listen to him is I'm jealous of you.
Yeah, it was really cool.
What if someone's watching this and they're like, hey, I'm thinking about applying, but I don't know if I should or not? What would you tell them?
I would say definitely apply. You never know whether you can get in or not, but it's a really good experience and really great exposure to STEM.
So this is the moment of truth. This is basically all the carbon that I captured, and so we're going to measure it and see how much I have. Awesome. So it looks like I have 51 cc's, which I was expecting 0, so I'm going to take this as a win. So I just participated in some of these experiments here at the Tapia STEM camps, and these kids are on another level. Like, there's no way I was this smart in high school. I don't think I'm still on their level. But a big part of how some of these kids got here is being involved with DiscoverU, and you're the COO of DiscoverU. So tell me about what your organization does and how it helps kids experience things like this.
For sure. So DiscoverU started when our principal at Lee High School, I was a teacher there, and he realized that our kiddos were maybe brilliant, great kids going off to college, but they weren't persisting. They weren't staying. And it wasn't because they weren't smart, right? It was because they lacked sort of the experiential reference, right? The what we call soft skills or social emotional skills to be able to persist in a college setting. So being able to find a support system, right? Navigating bureaucracies, taking leadership roles. And so he was getting all this paperwork about great programs happening across the country that kids could go to, but they all had a cost, right? And how would a kid know about that, right? So he basically set up a teacher, and her only job, her name was Monica, and her only job was to connect kids to these types of experiences. And so they learned a lot, right? You gotta do fundraising, you gotta learn how to stalk the children in the hallway when they stop answering you, right? And to help them make a quality application, because we know that that really matters. You can't get into a program if you don't apply and your application's not good. And then there's all these logistical barriers that come up, right? So our goal is really to equalize access to high quality programs like the Tapia STEM camps that set kids on their path to whatever their future is.
Folks that want to go into STEM in particular, a lot of these career paths are, 4, 6, 8 years long, the education pathway leading to the careers. And it's intimidating because you're like, I want to do this, but what if I don't like it? And the fact that you could experience that early on, I think, is everything. Here today, we spoke with Dr. Hand and all the amazing curriculum him and his team put together. What particularly with this program and the STEM camp in particular stands out to you and you think is unique about it?
Oh, absolutely. There's so many things, really. It's hard to pick one, but there's a lot. Like the Tapia Center is dedicated to equity, right? And so, this program's expensive, right? But Rice really makes it, the Tapia Center makes it accessible by working with programs like DiscoverU, with districts, to help facilitate students accessing it. So the first thing would be just getting kids aware of it, right? They are seeking a diverse population of students from not just across Houston, from across the country. Kids come here from all over to participate in this program, where they get tons of hands-on learning with near-peer, college and graduate students, as well as distinguished professors like Dr. Hand. I think that what's so valuable about what DiscoverU does is that we really help with those invisible barriers that people don't see that might prevent a student from accessing a program. So, for example, if the collateral is all pictures of cute little white girls in lab coats, and I am not a cute little white girl in a lab coat, then I maybe feel a way about that. I'm not so sure, right? Or I can give an example of, we had one student who was participating in a really cool program, actually here at Rice, and it was a playwriting program. And we got a call from the program saying, your student is really disengaged in the afternoon, and we're not really sure what's going on. So we had her advisor reach out to her, and it turns out that all of the kids were walking across the street to a cafe where they were eating lunch, and she couldn't afford it. So she didn't want to be that weird kid who brought their lunch, who couldn't go be with the group, and she was tired in the afternoon, right? So we were able to get her a gift card so that she could discreetly pay for her lunch, participate fully, and then go on, right? So there's so many sort of invisible barriers that might hold a student back. They might be mental, right? They might be cultural. Like, many cultures are skeptical. They're like, you want my kid to go live in a dorm away from me for a week? What? No, thank you, right? Do I have to do this, right? And so for us, it's about education, right? It's about supporting that kid from A to Z, because if the kid and the family are not supported all the way through participation, right, then it's so easy for kids to say, oh, I didn't know what to wear, couldn't be there, right? Or, oh, I couldn't get a ride, So we can offer Lyft vouchers, right, to students here for local programs. We can support them from afar, right? We've had kids who say, oh, I'm not so sure about this, I'm really missing home, when they're away at an international program. And then we can step in and say, hey, program leaders, so-and-so is feeling a little nervous about this. What can we do to support that kiddo so they can persist and continue, right, and finish that program, right? Yeah. So I would say that for us, it's not about the actual, or it's really about how we can equalize and reduce those hurdles that might keep students and families from taking that healthy risk of applying and then participating in something that could be really scary. If you've never stepped on foot here at Rice University, that's kind of nerve-wracking, right? And so we want to be there as a resource. And we hear from programs as well as families that, you know what, that kid came, was prepared, supported, enthusiastic. We're so grateful they participated, and it's because of the kinds of invisible supports that were provided to that kiddo to help them go through the entire process.
And that's so impressive because that's not like a one-size-fits-all solution. That's a person-by-person solution that takes a lot of hard work and dedication. So that is really impressive. Exactly.
Relationships really matter for us.
So imagine I'm sitting like in 10th grade and I want to join one of these programs. What's the first step? Do I ask my teacher? Do I go to your website? What's the first step?
Yeah. So we partner with schools and districts and other youth-serving organizations, and their schools will bring our team out to raise awareness. So they will put on a presentation where they get kids on our portal. We've got a Salesforce-based portal with about 140 different programs that we've vetted, that we work with, that are reasonable in terms of cost and impactful and safe.
Oh, there's so much about this one I really love. One, I appreciate the enthusiasm, right? The excitement they have, both the students and, of course, the professors, the instructors. But also, it shows that when you build those relationships, you get to understand people a little more. And knowing that this little girl was struggling with, her self-esteem because she didn't have the means, and they were able to step up while still learning and harvesting that environment to inspire is really, really, really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to see this organization, DiscoverU, is doing all this work, but it also shows us that getting kids interested in STEM is easy, but making sure that they stay there and those pathways and obstacles don't turn them away is hard work, and it's hard work we have to do.
And again, within that, there are so many opportunities, right? It's not the typical, and that's what I love about this segment that you do, is that it sheds light on those passion projects that at the core is STEM.
Exactly. It's STEM is not the stereotypical thing we studied in textbooks 10, 20 years ago.
I love that. Okay, I understand you're working with the National STEM Festival again this year, and submissions are open right now.
They are open right now till mid-October. I was a STEM ambassador last year. I'm a STEM ambassador again this year, and I was so freaking inspired by these kids in DC last April. I still remember this one STEM champion telling me about his project, and he started talking about diabetes, the pancreas, insulin. I was like, I didn't learn this stuff till I was like in medical school. And this is like an 8th or 9th grader telling me about his project. And so if you're a parent, if you're a mentor, if you're a teacher, and you know that kid is interested in science, I would encourage them so that they can apply. Yeah. And if they become a STEM champion, we unfortunately didn't have anyone from Houston last year. So let's get someone from Houston.
Come on, Houston. Yeah, let's do it.
And they'll get a trip for them and their guardian to DC next April.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Where can folks go to sign up?
NationalSTEMFestival.com.